If you have a mind to upset the status quo with your big ideas for tomorrow's world, then maybe we're just the thing for the genius in you. For starters, every fellow here is brilliant too, hired to rethink how we think and prove that impossible isn't at all. We love their visionary points of view and how their top-tier ideas are helping us to expand what we know and don't know about our world. Working hand in hand, we're out to better the ways energy works for us, to market our inventive ideas and fast-track a world that takes care of us all. Responsible entrepreneurship that will rub off on you. You'll leave our halls of learning wired not just for sensible science, but sustainable business too. A thinker, a breath of fresh air, a game changer, a global visionaire. Primed to keep progress on its toes, the competition on the run, and our planet clean, safe, and secure. But wait. Forget the future for now and focus first on making the choice that will trigger the full potential of you. Enroll. And then, maybe tomorrow, the next big thing that rocks our world will be you.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon to all.
So Engineering Day in UNITEN is about exposing what is engineering, science and technology to our school children.
When I first came here, I didn't expect it to be like this. It was pretty amazing because everyone here is so nice.
Hari ni kita dapat belajar banyak benda tau.
Kami pun seronoklah dapat tengok hidup pelajar-pelajar di sini dan tengok apa yang diorang belajar.
Hari ni best sangat. Kita dapat menggabungkan STEM activity between 4 departments all in one day.
We hope that all the students, first, they must have fun. And secondly, we hope that they have the good appreciation and perhaps it will rekindle their passion to be active in science, technology and maths, and especially to come to UNITEN and learn engineering.
Inspired us a lot.
And don't forget, #jom masuk UNITEN.
Jom kita masuk UNITEN. Alhamdulillah kita berjaya conduct UNITEN Engineering Day.
If you have a mind to upset the status quo with your big ideas for tomorrow's world, then maybe we're just the thing for the genius in you. For starters, every fellow here is brilliant too, hired to rethink how we think and prove that impossible isn't at all. We love their visionary points of view and how their top-tier ideas are helping us to expand what we know and don't know about our world. Working hand in hand, we're out to better the ways energy works for us, to market our inventive ideas and fast-track a world that takes care of us all. Responsible entrepreneurship that will rub off on you. You'll leave our halls of learning wired not just for sensible science, but sustainable business too. A thinker, a breath of fresh air, a game changer, a global visionaire. Primed to keep progress on its toes, the competition on the run, and our planet clean, safe, and secure. But wait. Forget the future for now and focus first on making the choice that will trigger the full potential of you. Enroll. And then, maybe tomorrow, the next big thing that rocks our world will be you.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon to all.
So Engineering Day in UNITEN is about exposing what is engineering, science and technology to our school children.
When I first came here, I didn't expect it to be like this. It was pretty amazing because everyone here is so nice.
Hari ni kita dapat belajar banyak benda tau.
Kami pun seronoklah dapat tengok hidup pelajar-pelajar di sini dan tengok apa yang diorang belajar.
Hari ni best sangat. Kita dapat menggabungkan STEM activity between 4 departments all in one day.
We hope that all the students, first, they must have fun. And secondly, we hope that they have the good appreciation and perhaps it will rekindle their passion to be active in science, technology and maths, and especially to come to UNITEN and learn engineering.
Inspired us a lot.
And don't forget, #jom masuk UNITEN.
Jom kita masuk UNITEN. Alhamdulillah kita berjaya conduct UNITEN Engineering Day.
If you have a mind to upset the status quo with your big ideas for tomorrow's world, then maybe we're just the thing for the genius in you. For starters, every fellow here is brilliant too, hired to rethink how
Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with the event in a short while, please allow me to make a few housekeeping announcements. Kindly ensure that your microphone has been muted throughout the ceremony. You may turn on your camera to participate with us. In fact, we encourage you to do so. Those who have any inquiries, please write your questions in the YouTube live chat and Facebook chat box. Thank you for your cooperation, and we'll see you in a while. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to our guest of honor, Young Berusaha, Associate Professor Dr. Farahani Nordin, Deputy Dean of Student Affairs and External Relations, College of Engineering, UNITEN, fellow committees of Virtual Engineering Fair Series 4, lecturers, participants, and everyone who's here with me today. My name is Ray, and I welcome you to the Virtual Engineering Fair Series 4 Virtual STEM activity. As we all know, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. These are all areas of learning that our young generation needs to be comfortable with to excel in the future. STEM makes creators, thinkers, problem solvers, doers, innovators, and inventors. Exposing the young generations to simple STEM ideas at an early age today sets a foundation for a higher learning tomorrow. STEM activities help young generations see that science and math can have a creative element too. In today's world, technology seeps into everything we do, and young generations can be taught to approach all of their learning through the lens of scientific exploration. STEM is a hands-on learning that applies to the world around us. STEM builds and teaches creativity, problem-solving, life skills, ingenuity, resourcefulness, patience, and curiosity. STEM is what shapes the future as our world grows and changes. STEM is everywhere in everything we do and how we live. From the natural world around us to the tablets in our hands that show us the world far, far away, STEM builds inventors. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's our utmost pleasure to welcome Young Berusaha, Associate Professor Dr. Farahani Nordin, Deputy Dean of Student Affairs and External Relations, College of Engineering, UNITEN, to deliver her welcoming remarks and officiate the end of our virtual engineering fair. Please welcome.
Thank you very much, Ray. Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. Can you view me, Ray? Can you see me? And can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
yes, Dr. Farah.
Thank
yes,
you very much. So, thank you very much, Ray, and Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. Well, as mentioned by Ray just now, today is the 4th series of the UNITEN Virtual Engineering Fair, which is organized by clubs and society under the College of Engineering, Universiti Tenaga Nasional. Now, the first series was organized by MRC, Mobile Robotic Club. Okay. The first series was organized by MRC, which is our Mobile Robotic Club. The second series was organized by EVA, Electrical Vehicle Association, and also SIR, Society of Engineers, or which is also known as IEM Student Chapter, UNITEN IEM Student Chapter. The third series, which was held yesterday, was organized by IMECI and ICE, and today's event is organized by IEEE and IET. Now, the last 3 events that we have under this UNITEN Virtual Engineering Fair are focused on inviting our alumni to share their experiences, not only their experiences in UNITEN, but also their experience on getting their dream job. Now, what I learned from the 3 past events is that follow your passion and aim high. Take every opportunity to improve ourselves so that you are prepared when the offer that you want is finally knocking at your door. Now, today's event is special because we don't invite alumni for this session, but IEEE and IET will be organizing online STEM activities where I hope you will be able to join in the fun. Now, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank MRC, EVA, SIR, IMECI, ICE, IET, and IEEE for your effort and dedication in making this UNITEN Virtual Engineering Fair a success. This fair will not be a reality without the help and cooperation and the teamwork that you show and give for this fair. Now, our hope is that we have broadened up the public views on STEM and engineering. Well, fun is waiting for you guys who have passion in engineering and jom masuk UNITEN. Thank you. So I think that's all from me, Ray. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Farah. Thank you for the lovely speech. Ladies and gentlemen, our first session for this event is Introduction to Programming, which will be held by Mr. Azrul Azim, a representative from IEEE UNITEN student branch. This session is conducted for the young generations to get to know how simple programming works using M blocks and how it can be applied to engineering. Before we begin, let's get to know a little about our speaker today. Mr. Azrul Azim bin Badarul Izam is a final year student in UNITEN taking Bachelor of Electrical Power Engineering. He's a Dean's List Achiever, the Chief Operating Officer of Project Newsper, recognized by the Malaysia Book of Records, a freelance motivational speaker, once talked to MRSM TGB for SPM 2020 students, an A+ achiever in programming in engineering subject, and a webmaster of IEEE PS UNITEN 2021, as well as an executive subcommittee of IEEE PS Malaysia Chapter 2021. Now, without further ado, let's invite Mr. Azrul Azim to take over this session.
Thank you so much, Revati, for the nice and lovely introduction. Hi guys, I am Azrul Azim, and today I'll be guiding you guys for the first step to programming, or also known as Introduction to Programming. For session 1 today, we will first go through the theory part for about 10 minutes, and then after that, we will come to the exciting part, the programming using M-block. Before I start, I would like to ask the MC, is it clear all? Can you see me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Yes, I'm able to see the screen.
Right, so shall us begin. So first, you guys might wonder, what is programming? Programming is a set of instructions you give to your computer to do a task, from a very simple 1 + 1 or moving a character from left to right. Artificial intelligence like self-driving car, Tesla, or face recognition, or also the whole video game itself is using a programming. Without programs, computers are useless. A program is like a recipe. It contains a list of ingredients called variables and a list of directions called statements that tell a computer what to do. To do a programming, one needs to have the knowledge of the programming language, as programming not just a simple English. Next question arises. What is programming language? A programming language is a computer language programmers use to develop software programs, scripts, or other sets of instructions for computers to execute. Basically, programming language is a language you talk to a computer. Here are some examples of programming language that is famously used. First, Java, C, C++, Python, SQL, PHP, MATLAB, ASM, and many more. All these programming languages have their own libraries and machine code. Different languages are used for different tasks. Online web applications usually use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Games in general use C, C++, Python. Science and engineering, on the other hand, use C, C++, MATLAB, or also known as Matrix Laboratory, Pascal, and so on. You might wonder, why are there so many languages? People keep on creating them every day because different tasks can be achieved efficiently using other languages. Next, I will introduce to you 3 types of programming language. The first type is machine language, the next assembly language, and finally high-level language. We go to the first explanation of machine language. Basically, machine language is the most basic which the computer understands, because computer is not an intelligent machine. The intelligent one is the programmers. Machine language uses a set of binary digits 0 and 1, and sometimes it can change or convert into hexadecimal, which is a base of 16. Machine language is a native language of Central Processing Unit, or a CPU. Next is assembly language. Assembly language is one level above machine language. It uses short mnemonic codes for instruction and allows the programmer to introduce name or blocks of memory that hold data, which is called addresses. And next, finally, high-level language allow us to write computer code using instruction resembling everyday spoken language like English. The example of library is print, if, while, which is translated into machine language to make the computer execute it. So basically, high-level language take a little bit more time to execute because the computer need to convert it to machine language and the computer run it. So I shall show you guys the example for all three types of programming language. First, machine language. As I said before, machine language use binary. And from the slides, you can see, if you want to write hello world, one have to write 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, and all, and so on to write hello world. And for example, if you want to write my name, Azrul Azim, one have to write 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, and so on. Basically, this is a convert ASCII code. You guys can scan the QR code above on the slides to try to convert your names to binary. And perhaps you guys can post it on your social media and make people wonder why you are posting 0 and 1. But actually, you guys know it is your name or your secret message. Okay, so I give you guys around 5 seconds to scan it and try it for yourself. 5, 4, 3.
I'm gonna do it too.
Oh, okay, sure. Tell me when once you scan. You get it? All right, perfect. I hope you guys get the chance to scan and convert your names or any text to binary. We jump to the next level, which is assembly language. As I said before, assembly language use mnemonic codes. As you can see here, @WF is a representative of mnemonic codes to add two addresses, two numbers from WREC and F addresses, and add them. Instead of using 0101, which is the instruction code in machine language, it uses mnemonic code instead. Next, and finally, high-level language. High-level language use simple, or I would say everyday language like English. As you can see here, this is the example of a C language I written for my assignment. And you can see here, it uses English like #include, void, return, integer, printf, and so on. And on the right side is a header file for the C language. For a high-level language, one need to have a library to run every instruction. So for example, I use the #stdio, which include input and output functions. So once I write the #include, I can use all the input and output function. Okay. Finally, the time for programming. First, I will explain to you what is mBlock. mBlock 5, which is we will use, is a block-based or a text-based programming software using Scratch 3.0. As for today, I'll be showing you guys the block-based programming. It can drag and drop a block to make a programming. So for today, we will be achieving several objectives that I will come after this. mBlock offer a PC version which you can download from their website, and the one I will use today, and a website version. You guys can get the link to the website version on our description on Facebook and YouTube below. So you guys can join along and code your own program, or might be your first program. Okay, next. What is our objective today? Our objective first is to make a boy say hello world and walk. This is our first, remember. Second, we want to make a panda walk up, down, left, right with the correct posture. Okay, remember that. And lastly, we want to make an addition with the help of variables. Okay. I hope you guys can join me, and Ray, our MC today, will join I to make the programming today. So perhaps you guys can press the link and open on a new tab to join along. Okay. this is mBlock. Before I start to code, I will explain the user interface or UI to everyone, so you guys can get familiarized with the software. On the left side is the sprites or your character. Okay. On the bottom one is devices. Actually, mBlock offer a real device you can buy from their company and receive it on your house and connect it to your computer by the software and run the code on your device, real life. Next, sprites. Sprites offer the in-software character so you can see what's happened on your coding or programs. And lastly, the background. Background is just a background you guys can change. Next, this line over here, vertical line over here, is an instruction, or you can add an exception for the instruction for all the function we will use. It categorized by a few. First, looks. Looks, you guys can change the backdrop, the color, and you guys can clear the graphic using these programs or functions. Next, sound. You guys can play a sound, stop all sound, clear sound effect using this sound category function. Next, event. Event is the crucial one because event is how we start or initiate our programming. So we can use the green flag function. When click, it will run our program. And we can also use space, up, down, and arrow key using your own keyboard. And then any other character and number. There's several type of events you can use. Next is control. Control function more is like you can repeat if it is more towards the advanced stuff. For today, we will not use it yet, but if you have some time, perhaps you can take a look at it. Next is sensing. Sensing is more like you sense the something, you get the input and output for your programming. We might use one of them today. Stay with us. Next is operators. Operators use plus, minus, times, division, just like your operation. Next, bigger than, less than, equal, and then Boolean expression, or, and, not, and so others. Next two is variables and make box. Variables, if you want to make your own unknown, like X, Y, like you learn how in mathematics, right? There's characters or letters, I would say. Next is blocks. My blocks, you can create your own blocks with your own execution. Okay, next. So shall I start? You ready, Ray?
I'm excited.
All right, thank you. So remember, our first objective is we want to make a boy say hello, right? Okay, so first thing first, you have to use the event. As for the boy, I want to, when I press the green flag button over here, it will run our coding. Okay, next is, okay, my bad, sorry. Looks, not looks. Control, event, sound. Okay, we take a look over here. It should have motion. Sorry guys for the technical difficulty over here.
Okay, take your time.
Okay. Okay, so it should have motion over here. Just now it's like a motion and yeah, looks. I'm looking for looks just now. Sorry. Okay, so okay. Well, these difficulties shows we learn more. Okay, so to add a sprites, you can go to your people and then you can scroll around and find your character you want. Okay, so for today, where is the character? Yeah, this is the boy I want to use. Okay, you can drag and drop your character here. Next is backdrop. Background, you can add, press the plus, and you can add your backdrop you want to use. For this time being, I will use Classroom 2. All right.
To those who would like to try, feel free to do so. The link is at the description box, so you can go onto the website and try out what Mr. Azrul is teaching.
Yes, thank you, Ray. Okay, so as I was going, our first objective is we want to make the birds say hello and walk around, right? So first, I want to use the event, click the green flag, and then we go to the category looks. and there's a say hello instruction. So you just drag the box and click it with the when green flag is clicked. Then you can press the hello world. Can you see, or perhaps I might zoom it a little? Okay,
Yeah, that's
much
better.
bigger. Okay, so you guys can change the text here, anything. As for today, we want to achieve hello world.
It's like a
And
puzzle.
yes,
right?
exactly, just like a puzzle. Even your brother, younger brother or younger sister can learn along. Go call them.
I'll make them. Sure.
Okay, so here, after we done our simple program, we can click the green arrow here, green flag, my bad, and go, and the boy say hello world. It's as easy as that, as easy as drag and drop. We can even change to hello Ray and click the green flag and hello Ray. Done. Okay, next is we want to make the boy move around, right? So for the move around, it's easier for us to use our keyboard. So for us to use our keyboard, we can drag the, when key is pressed, we can change it to the arrow. Let's use it right arrow first. Okay, so when the right arrow is pressed, what do we want to use? We want to do motion, right? So there's a several choose of motion. You guys can look around, find the most efficient or whatever it is. You guys can experience it yourself and try it out. Okay, so perhaps we want to use the move 10 steps. You guys can just click it here, and when you press the right arrow, look at that, the boy move. Okay, so next, what if we want to make the boy move to the left? Okay, move to the left. What if we pressed it left? Oh my god, the boy moved to the right instead, because the coding we use is move 10 step. Because the boy is right now is pointing towards the direction 90 degree here. So instead of using the move 10 step, we can use change X to several language. Or my bad, sorry, we can, yeah, set X or change X. Okay, change X by. Okay, I would like to inform you guys, the character here actually use a grid. Okay, this is a grid. You guys, so this is the x-axis and y-axis. For your reference, if you want to move the boy to the left or to the right, you can change the x-axis and up and down using the y-axis, right? Okay, back to the coding. Okay, when we press the left arrow, we can change the boy to -10 instead. So when we press left, the boy move to the left. Okay, so we achieve our objective for today. You guys can also duplicate the current coding and set right arrow and move X by +10. Hence, when you guys press right and left, it will move to the right and left. Okay, Ray, do you have any question for our first objective?
So far, it's pretty clear and really, really fun and colorful.
I know, right? Okay, I hope you guys at home can follow along and experience it yourself. Okay, next, our second objective for the day, we want to make a panda walk up, down, left, right with the correct posture. Okay, that's the keyword, with the correct posture. Okay, I'll first open my pre-made background and sprites. Okay, here is the cute panda, you guys can see, with a walk around outside. Okay, so first we want to make the panda walk. So as before, we can use an events function. We drag and drop. Okay. Let's say we want to make the right arrow. So the right arrow with the motion, move X by 10. Okay, so we achieve the right function, right? Okay, to make things easier, we can just duplicate it. When duplicate it, we can make, how about move to the left, the same as the boy just now, and it changed to -10. Okay, the panda moved to the left, but it is walking backward. It's kind of weird, right? Okay, to change that, we can add a costume function here. When you press the costume function, you can add your own costume to make the panda look back. So it's normal walking back in a straight line, right? So to make this, perhaps when you first created this, it's only 2 costume offer. So you can right click, duplicate, and go to the third one and flip horizontally up here. And the panda walk to the back, looking at the back. Okay, so this is costume 4 and costume 2 is panda looking at the back. So going back to the coding, so when the left arrow is pressed, we can go to the looks and switch costume to, how about costume 2? Okay, my bad. Okay, so when we stop everything, when we press the right arrow, it's moved to the right. When we press the left arrow, the panda move to the left. But we encounter another problem. When we press the right arrow, it still look to the left. So to encounter this, you have to switch your costume to costume 1 back. So then we encounter with the right posture. Can you see? You guys can try to add many more costume on yourself. Okay, next. How about up and down? Up and down should be the same. Should be the same thing. You guys can duplicate it. Right? Okay, you guys can change the arrow, up arrow, and down arrow. Down arrow. And don't forget to change the change x axis to the y axis instead. Change y axis and drag and drop, change y axis, and down arrow is -10. So when you press up and down, the panda goes flying high and down to its nearer, you guys. You get perhaps I can press this and see, you can, the panda walk to the left, to the right, above, below. Okay, so I think the second one is just a continuation from the first one, the boy walking, right? And we just add using the switch costume function. Okay, for the second objective, Ray, do you have any question?
So now it's a fully functioning panda.
Yep,
now.
fully walking with the right posture.
So can I use a giraffe instead of a panda? Is that possible?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
You can change the animals.
There's so many options.
Yes, exactly. There's animals, people, fantasy, and for example, just now Ray said giraffe. Maybe we can look around if there's a giraffe there. I hope you guys can at home can try along with us, and if it's a little bit faster, I'm sorry for the constraint of time for today. Okay, yeah, there's a giraffe there. You guys can click it. Okay, see, there's a cute giraffe over here. And different sprites have a different programming. So perhaps you can make your own programming for the giraffe. Like just now, perhaps when I click it, perhaps you can try another function for the motion. We can glide to random position when the green arrow is pressed. So let's find out what it's gonna do. See, the giraffe go glide random position for 1 second. It's funny, right, Ray? You guys at home can try any of the motion, as today is a STEM activity. You guys should try to explore. Okay, that is for our second objective. And finally, for our third objective, we want to make an addition with the help of variables. Okay. First, let me open from my computer. Don't save. Finally, an addition with the help of variables. So I already made the sprites of a calculator and a background of a classroom. Okay. So for a calculator, we will use the operators function over here. Okay. So for the function over here, there's a plus, minus, times, and divide. Okay. First of all, as I mentioned previously, we use the event first. So I want to use the green, click the green flag. Okay. And then next, we want to sense what's the user or us input. So we will use the sensing operation, which is ask, blank, and wait. So we want the program to ask us. So what's the program to ask about? Okay, we want the program to enter the first number and wait. Okay, and then where's the first number we're going to go? And the first number is actually going to go to our variables. So you guys can go to the variables and make a variables. So for the first variable, I would like to put x. Okay. Once you add the variables, there's a set x to blank. So when you drag and drop the set x to blank, imagine this is blank, and then you guys go to the sensing and the answer. So basically, when I click the green button, let me full screen this. Okay. When I click the green button, it will ask enter the first number, and it will pop out like a text below. Can you see? It's quite small. Can and you can write the any number here. Let's say I write 10, and you can see above x is now set to 10. All right. So to make our objective, to chase our objective today, we want to enter two number and add it because you cannot add only one number, right? So then you can drag another sensing and change the text, enter the second number and wait. And then perhaps the next variable we can put y because x and y is like partner, right, in mathematics. Okay, and then we can drag set below and change y to go to sensing again and answer. Okay, so now here is we already get from the coding we get the first number and the second number. So next we go to the looks and we can drag the say function, perhaps say for 2 seconds. Okay, what you want to say. Okay, we go to the operator and drop. Okay, this is a few tips. Perhaps you guys might already find it out, but when the block is like have indented on the top and below, you guys can click it together. But instead, if the circle one, we have to put it in the circle instead. There's several shape you guys can play around. So I would say engineering in a basic is you guys explore it, try it yourself. Once you try it, then you know. Okay, then what we want to say, we want the calculator to say, we go to the variables just now and we can drag x plus y. Oh, my mistake. Should put it x here first and then drag it here for 2 seconds. Okay, then done our programming. So next we want to check it. Is it correct? Okay, then press the green button. It was enter the first number. Okay, Ray, give me one number.
3.
3. All right. 3. Enter. Enter the second number.
7.
7. All right. So 10. Is it correct?
Should I check with my calculator?
All right. Perhaps you can just count using your finger. Okay. So basically, we achieve our final objective for today. I think we have some time more. Is it, Ray?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
So then perhaps I would
So,
like.
Asrul, you just enter one number and you wait. What's with the waiting period?
Oh, the waiting period and the coding here and wait for the user to press the number. If it's only us enter the first number and proceed to enter the second number, yeah, we cannot enter the number itself and put it inside the variable x. Okay, so since we have some time more, we can play around with the third objective today. So for the third objective, how about we want to add 3 number? So if we want to add 3 number, perhaps it's easier for us to create another variable, which is a z. Okay, x, y, and z. Just nice. So once we add a z variables, perhaps we can make an operator or okay. Let me check it again. Okay, we can make z is equal to x and y. How do we want to do that? Okay. My bad. Okay, variables. You can drag set. It changes z to x plus y. Okay, so now we know z is equal to x plus y. Okay, and then we can go to sensing again and ask for the third number, right? Okay. Enter. Oh, my bad. enter the third number. Then the third number and wait. So perhaps, my bad for the typo. Alright, okay. Enter the third number and then perhaps the third number we can reuse the x variable. Since the x variable is already plus with y and put it in the z. Okay, you have to be like creative to find out the solution, and you have to remember programming is not just fixed things. It's many more. It's like an art, you could say. There's no right or wrong. As long as you achieve your objective, then it's good. But of course, there's the efficient way and non-efficient way. So the more you know, the more you learn along the way, and you can be more efficient. Next, enter the number, set to x, and then finally, we can put just like now, just like before, previously, you can say x plus z, because the z is already the addition of x and y, and x is the new third number. And save, or how about you put it 5 seconds, easier. Okay, and then let us stop it again and click check the programming. Is it right or wrong? Okay, so first we press the green, enter the first number. Let's say 4. Enter the second number, let's say 6. And they ask, enter the third number. As you can see above, on the top left, x is set to 4, y is 6, and z is already the addition. And the third one will be put into the x, and you guys can see, let's say I put 9. Oh, okay. So there's a problem here just now. Okay. X plus z for 5 seconds. Oh, my bad. Set to, instead of 0, we have to drag the answer just now. Yeah, so there's the slight mistakes. So perhaps you guys can, when you guys try around, it's okay to do a mistakes. Don't worry. From mistakes, we learn more than being a success on the first run. Is it true, Ray?
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Okay. Let us try again. Okay. How about x 5, 6, and 7? Tada! 5, 6, and 7 make it 18. Okay. I think that's all for M block today, and I might want to share some more since it is a virtual engineering fair. So you guys might wonder, can you see my slides, Ray? Before that?
Yes, I'm able to see them.
All right, thank you. Okay, let me go back. Okay, so you guys might wonder, what's the connection between engineering and programming? Why engineers should know programming? Why you should know programming? And what's the benefit? Okay, so I might share with you guys 3 reasons engineers should know programming. Okay, the first is work 10 times faster. You can work 10 times faster by writing a computers to automate a tedious task. As for engineers, you use like a data cleaning or a integration work that would otherwise you need the traditional way by hand. If you know how to program a computer-related task, instead of you do it by hand that take week, you can only finish it by a few hours only. And then programming really can improve your productivity for as an engineers. Next reason is to discover more creative solution. As I said before, programming is not a fixed answer. There's a variable, very so much ways for you to achieve your objective. So it's not fixed. So programming allows you to discover more solution than your, would say, friends or colleagues who don't know how to program. So it lets you go beyond simply using the tools or data that everyone else around use. Instead of your limitation on your calculating manually, you guys can use program to automate it. Okay. Next and finally, the third one is to learn to communicate effectively. So let's say you become as an engineer later in your life, you have to communicate with other person or your colleagues that know how to program. We work in a team later at work. So knowing how to program makes you learn to communicate effectively. For example, with the programmer on your labs that hire to do a heavy duty coding, if you know how to program, you can communicate with them easily and ask them for help to achieve the objective and the command you guys give the work for or share the work for. Okay. Next, finally, I would like to share with you guys a software development method. Software development method, these six steps is not only applicable for programming. You guys also can use it in any other stuff, including your homework, assignments later, and basically everything. Okay, the steps is first specify the problem requirement. So when you read the question, like your homework, you have to specify the problem requirement. What's the question asked for? Next is analyze the problem. In our case, we analyze our problem. Like first objective, we want the boy say hello world. So our problem is we want to make the boy say. Okay, and the problem requirement is the boy to say hello world. Okay, and then the third one is design the algorithm to solve the problem. In the programming world, designing the algorithm is not writing the coding yet. You have to write the pseudocode or flowchart first, and then you can implement the algorithm. So on the third step, you design the algorithm. In your mathematics homework, you guys can write down the formula. That's designing the algorithm to solve the problem. And then finally, the fourth one is, not finally, sorry. After that, the fourth one is implement the algorithm. Implementing the algorithm in programming is you write the coding in term of C language, C++, Python. There's a lot more high-level language, right? As I said before. So implementing the algorithm is you start to write the coding. Next, test and verify the completed program. Once you implement the algorithm, write the coding, you test and verify the completed program. So like previously, I ran it using the green flag with Ray just now, and somehow it's not verified. So we have to go back to the fourth step, which is implement the program again, which is iframe. So the 4th and 5th step goes back and forth. Same goes to the 3 and 4. You have to design and implement it. Sometimes your design might not work flawlessly on the first run. That's okay. Don't give up. Just do more, try more, explore more. And finally is maintain and update the program. Okay, let's say in this current world, moving forward, there's always a problem we encounter. So one have to always maintain and update the program. Perhaps just now we want the boy to say hello world, right? And we want the panda to walk with the correct posture. What if I want to make the panda run? So I have to change the posture. So I have to maintain and update the program. So I guess that's all for the introduction to programming. I hope you guys learn a little bit more on what is programming and how to use mBlock specifically. And perhaps the UNITEN from UNITEN will say good luck and all the best for you guys. And I think it's a QA session in the Facebook and YouTube. So if you guys watching this have any inquiries or question, you guys can write it on the chat now.
Thank you, Azrul. Thank you for your session. I think it really breaks stereotype that STEM is boring and it's not interesting, but based on what you showed me today, it actually really is interesting. Makes me want to keep doing the programming. So let's move on to the Q&A session. All right, so the first question is, in UNITEN, is there any specific subject that implements coding or perhaps any course that focuses on coding?
Oh yes, in UNITEN, I first touch on engineering since it's a virtual engineering fair. In electrical and electronic engineering, there's several subject that focuses on coding, like introduction to programming, and then there's microprocessor. Microprocessor is where you learn the assembly language. This is the mnemonic codes, and then there's the microprocessor lab. And several more. You can go to UNITEN website and look at the courses, each courses for the breakdown of the subjects. And then for the second one is any course focusing on the coding. Yes, UNITEN offers several IT course which focus on and you learn more on coding. Perhaps IT, one that I know, one that I know in UNITEN, we learn the basic. IT student learn the basic of Python and C++ and also the website coding like HTML and PHP, if not mistaken.
Thank you, Azrul. For the second question, what have you done with coding? I mean, projects and stuff with during your studies in UNITEN?
Oh,
Assignments, yeah, especially microprocessor.
interesting question. Okay, what have I done? I would say, what have I done? One of the interesting project is a traffic light assignments. So basically, a traffic light assignment, me and my friends, it's a group project, have to code using the assembly language on a system of traffic light. So there's a T junction on the. I'm sorry, I think the coding already lost as I changed a new laptop. So let me break down for you. Basically, there's a T junction and there's a few red traffic light, right? So we have to code the traffic light when the car come and when it's time for to turn green, to turn red. So basically, it's quite tedious because assembly use mnemonic codes instead of high level language use plain English, right? So it's I think my group make around like 200 and a half lines of coding. So it's quite tedious and actually fun if you really understand what you are coding for.
All right, that sounds cool. Is coding subject hard to score in UNITEN? I'm too scared to take this subject since my friends told me it was very hard. How do you?
I see.
What would you
Okay.
advise?
I think from my personal view, coding programming subject in general, in theoretical way, it's hard as there's a lot of theories. You have to know like the instruction, you have to know how the function works. But one advice I can give as a student that take the subject along, you guys together, explore it yourself. When you learn something, you open your programming software, you try to do your own coding, and I think explore yourself and just do a random things. If you get an error, you can always ask your lecturer. Lecturer here is at UNITEN. Is really great. It's like they really helpful and understanding. They really guide you guys. So if you guys encounter any error in programming or error in any problem lah you encounter, you can guide us the lecturer to help you on your programming. But basically in programming, you have to do. You cannot just read. That's just my point of view because everyone learn differently. So yeah, just try it on.
I agree with you. Also, I'd like to add on, I think coding can't be done last minute, right?
Yes, exactly. There's subject you can learn last minute and there's subject you cannot.
That's true, yeah. So the fourth question is, what is the simplest programming language for beginners?
Simplest programming language. That's quite a controversy as a programming language have a different instruction and different way. But I think back to coding, why you want to learn coding is you ask yourself, what's your pathway? What do you want to learn? Do you want to make a website? Do you want to make a game? Or do you want to, in engineering, we want to run a microprocessor? So a different language offer different things. But I would say the most fun or the most you can learn coding the most is I think Python. Python is the best, not best lah, I would say reliable coding, and currently memang Python currently Python is used everywhere. So yeah, learn Python.
Is there any websites you would recommend for us to learn Python?
Websites, I think there's you guys can learn in Coursera, Udemy, and then Skillshare. But Skillshare is a pay to learn website, but you can get a free trial. It's really helpful. I learned a lot of skills here, like Adobe and other than programming, right? Okay, and then basically YouTube. YouTube is the best source of knowledge. You guys can write anything in YouTube and it will come out. You guys just have to be focused and sit there, learn. Not just here, but try it on.
So, Mr. Asro, what's your favorite programming language?
My favorite programming language currently, I would say assembly language.
Is there a reason?
The reason is because it's closer to the computer, so you understand more how the computer works. It's not like 0 and 1 like the plain native language, but instead it's the middle ground of high level and the low level language. So I understand like you, if you want to know someone, you have to know how they think, right? So if you want to know computer, you learn the closest coding to them. I would say assembly language.
And we're getting live advices here too. Right, so the final question would be, this is related to your presentation earlier. What's the difference between mBlock and Scratch?
Oh, okay. As I mentioned before, mBlock use Scratch 3.0 language. Basically, mBlock is the software that run all the Scratch 3.0 languages. So Scratch is the basic of the mBlock software itself. If I'm not mistaken, if there's a mistake, you guys can Google and check fact. Is it okay?
Thank you, Mr. Azrul. So where did you actually find this website, the mBlock website? Is there more websites such as the website you showed earlier?
I think there's actually some more alternative websites other than mBlock. The first time I encountered the mBlock is when I entered the programming, I think UNITEN programming club's activity, and there there's a lecturer teach how we use mBlock, and we use a robot to code the robot to move around the path using the mBlock. So basically, you just drag and drop how the robot to walk down the path.
Oh, that's cool. Could you tell us a little more about the event you joined?
Basically, I does not join the event as a participant, but I joined as a volunteer who helped to run the program instead. So hence I know the back end of the event itself. So the participant actually join and hear the talk from the lecturer and see the robot moving around, while us in the back just run around the make sure the coding is correct, and if there's any problem along the way.
I see. So, Mr. Azrul, how important do you think coding, programming is to the younger generation these days?
Younger generation these days. Okay, looking forward like 5 years and 10 years more, right? And IR 4.0, coding is really important actually. I think perhaps in engineering and science courses, because we actually do stuff with the data and computer. So learning how to code is really an advantage for you. Perhaps you might say your course does not relate it to code, right? But code really helps your course to exponentially be easier and boost your productivity. Yeah, I would say perhaps a younger generation could try to explore, maybe not not learn and to be professional, but know a little bit or two. That's my point of view, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Azrul. Is there any way that we can contact you, in case you want to know more about programming?
I see. If you want to contact me, there's the QR code link in, I think, on the below right of the slides. You guys can add me on LinkedIn and just PM me to learn more. And perhaps not just programming, you guys can ask more regarding a UNITEN or any related stuff to studies. And if I'm free, and I'm happy to help you guys and guide you guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Azrul, for the fruitful session. I believe that everyone enjoyed this session, and it's intriguing just how computers speak a completely different language from us, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Azrul.
Thank you, Ray, for joining me today, and you guys who view for this morning, and perhaps you guys had watched it later, the video on demand, or after this, not live. Perhaps you can try along, and in the future, it might help you guys with this knowledge. Who knows, right? So that's all. Good luck and all the best, and always remember UNITEN.
Thank you, Ms. Azrul. Thank you. All right, so before we begin our next session, let's just take a short 10-minute break, and we'll see you in a while. But before that, just a quick reminder, please do register yourselves in the link provided on the YouTube and Facebook descriptions, and our admins will also send the link at the chat box. So we'll be back in 10 minutes. You can go have your coffee or maybe early lunch or brunch. We'll see you in a while.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon to all.
So Engineering Day in UNITEN is about exposing what is engineering, science and technology to our school children.
When I first came here, I didn't expect it to be like this. It was pretty amazing because everyone here is so nice. Hari ni kita dapat belajar banyak benda tau.
Kami pun seronoklah dapat tengok hidup pelajar-pelajar di sini dan tengok apa yang diorang belajar.
Hari ni best sangat.
Kita dapat menggabungkan STEM activity between 4 departments all in one day.
We hope that all the students, first, they must have fun. And secondly, we hope that they have the good appreciation and perhaps it will rekindle their passion to be active in science, technology and maths, and especially to come to UNITEN and learn engineering.
Inspired us a lot.
And don't forget, #jom masuk UNITEN.
Jom kita masuk UNITEN. Jom masuk UNITEN.
Alhamdulillah kita berjaya conduct UNITEN Engineering Day.
There's nothing beneath it. Forgive me for staring, forgive me for breathing. We might not know why, we might not know how, but baby tonight we're beautiful now. We're beautiful now. We're beautiful now. We might not know why, we might not know how,
No mercy for you, no worries for you. That Game of Thrones, go Cersei on you. I flipped the script, I roll the dice. Don't fall asleep, cause I'm working nights. Hey, you tryna shut me out, it's getting blatant. Hey, I come and see you now, no hesitation. Yeah, I'm really, really tired of being patient. Hey, if you won't give it to me, I'ma take it. Take it. If you won't give it to me, I'ma take it. Take it. If you won't give it to me, I'ma take it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now, let's move on to the hands-on activity. This session is conducted by the representatives from Institution of Engineering and Technology UNITEN, IET. A quick introduction to the speakers, with the first being Mr. Muhammad Wafi bin Sarbini, a second-year student in Universiti Tenaga Nasional, currently taking Bachelor of Electrical Power Engineering. He is the treasurer of International Automation and Control Enhancing Innovation Competition 2020, the current vice president of IET on campus, and also excels in his studies as he is also a Dean's List achiever. As for the second speaker, Mr. Ahmad Saifuddin is a second-year student in UNITEN, currently taking Bachelor of Electrical Power Engineering. He was 2 times the High Committee of International Automation and Control Enhancing Innovation Competition 2019 and 2020, the current president of UNITEN IET on campus, and he's also a Dean's List achiever. Now, without further ado, let's invite Mr. Wafi and Mr. Saifuddin to take over the session.
First of all, thank you Raivati for the introduction. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon I bid to Raivati, the speakers, and all the viewers at home watching today. As introduced, my name is Muhammad Wafi bin Sarbini, and today I'm going to show you a simple STEM activity that you guys at home can do together with me. But first, let me ask you a question. You ever wondered why big buildings often use circular columns to support their structure? Why don't they ever use maybe a square shape or even triangle shape? Don't they look cool? So today, I'm going to show you why through this activity. Okay, the materials needed for this activity are a standard A4 printing paper, scissors, a sellotape, and a few bolts. Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to design and build 3 pillar structures with different designs using these materials and test which design is the strongest by the end of this activity. So today, we are going to build 3 simple shapes, which is the square, okay, the square, the triangle, and the circle or cylinder. Okay, now let's get started. To build the square shape, take a piece of A4 paper and fold it into 5 equivalent sides, like this. Okay, can see it? Okay, like this, and then shape it into a square, like this, and then take your sellotape and tape it together. Make sure that the sides are equivalent to make the perfect square, and then tape it together and use sufficient tape so that it is stable, and then test if it can stand on its own. Okay, this is for the square shape. Next, we move on with the triangle shape. For the triangle, take another piece of paper and then fold it into 4 equivalent sides, like this. Okay, 4 equivalent sides, and then shape it into a triangle. Okay, and then do the same with the square. Take your tape and tape it together like this, and test if it can hold, if it can stand on its own on the table, like this. Okay. Last but not least, for the circle, take your last piece of A4 paper and roll it into a circle, into a cylinder, and make sure that the size of the circle is as similar as the size of the other shapes, and then tape it together. Okay, like this. Okay. Okay, now we are done with the designs. Now, before I test this design to see which is the strongest, I want the viewers at home to put down your prediction which design will hold the most weight out of all these 3. So, Ray, what do you think? Which design will win? Is it the square?
I think the triangle one.
The triangle. Okay. Okay, now we test it. But first, we test it with the square design. Okay. Square design. I put it on the table and test it with the bow. Okay. I hope you can see.
I remember reading that book when I was younger. It's the I Wonder Why series, right?
Yes. Okay. Make sure that put the book on the center. Okay. You can see it, right? Or I need to adjust my camera angle.
Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Looks like the square can hold 1 book. Now let's test it with 2 books. Okay. Okay, looks like looks like it can only hold 2 books at a time. Okay. Now let's move on with the triangle design. This is Raivati's winner, right?
I hope it works. I hope it works.
Okay. Okay. Test it. Okay, looks like it can hold 1 bolt. Test it with the second bolt. Oh, looks like.
Oh, that was almost immediate.
Yeah, it's almost the same as a square. Okay. Now we test it with the circle. Okay, what do you think? Ray, will it hold more books or less books than?
Honestly, I'm thinking of all the buildings around us. I think it probably could hold more books. Probably.
Okay, let's see. Okay, that's it. Here's 1 book. Okay, looks like it's stable. Okay, second book. Okay, make sure that it is in the middle. Looks like it can hold 2 books and not falling. Okay, let's test with 3 books. Wow, looks like it wins. Okay, let's test it with 4 books. How many books will it take? Stay. Okay, looks like you can hold 4 books. Okay, now let's test it with the 5th book. Okay. Wow.
You sure you use A4 paper for that also?
Maybe I cheat a little, huh? Looks like it can hold 5 books.
Wow.
It don't even crash. Okay. So, Ray, do you think you have any explanation why the circle wins out of all these 3?
Is it like I have no idea. Are you taking civil? I'm not taking civil.
Or maybe the viewers at home have any idea? If you do,
Yeah, you can comment.
do put your explanation in the comment. Okay. The reason why the circle is the strongest out of all these 3 designs is because the weight of the book is distributed evenly throughout the circumference of the circle. So that is why it can hold the most weight of the book compared to other designs. Compared to the triangle and the square, they both have points at their shapes and the weight is distributed among these points. That is why it can hold less books than the circle. Okay, to relate this activity in a real life situation, ancient Greece buildings often use this concept, which they use circular column to support their structures back then. If you want proof, do Google ancient Greece buildings and see their buildings such as the Parthenon and most of the temples back then, they often use these circular columns to support their structure. Even now, people are still using these concepts. So if you guys at home want to know more about this concept of engineering, do join us at College of Engineering, Universiti Nasional, and to further your studies here. That is all for me. Thank you for watching, and I pass it to Mr. Saifuddin.
Hello, can you hear me, Ray?
Yes, I'm able to hear you.
Okay, if I'm breaking up, please do let me know.
All right, I will.
Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you, Mr. Wafi, for the exciting and informative activity. Hi everyone, my name is Ahmad Saifuddin Bayhaki, and for the second hands-on activity, we are going to make a homemade vacuum cleaner. I'll show you in a while. Okay, let's get right to it. So before that, I'm going to change my view of the camera. Okay, Ray, can you see my workspace?
Yes, I'm able to see. I can see a bottle, some batteries,
Yes.
wires.
That is the things that we need. Okay, so the things you will need for this project is a 1.5 liter bottle, a big bottle. So for this one, I'm using a Coca-Cola bottle. We're going to need the whole bottle, including the cap, yeah? Okay, so next, we are going to need a piece of thin metal. This one I got from my fruit cocktail can. Okay, then the next thing is a thin cloth for the filter for the vacuum cleaner, a used pen, a short hose for the nozzle, a DC motor, some batteries, switch, and wires, and not forgetting our tools for this project. So let's set this aside for a while. Okay. And to stick things together, I'm using a hot glue gun. And if you guys don't have this at home, you can always use super glue. Okay, so all right, some of you might have built this vacuum cleaner at home because I know for a fact that school students nowadays have RBT in their schools, and teachers often ask them to make innovative projects. So kudos to those who did this at home and keep inventing. So onto our project, the first thing you need to do is remove the label from this Coca-Cola bottle. So I'm using my box cutter.
To those who are doing it at home, please do be careful with the
Yes.
penknife or knife. Yeah.
Okay, before we start the cutting, always make sure at least a parent is present when you are using anything sharp like a box cutter or scissors. And if there is anything that is hard to cut, always ask for an adult to help you. We don't want you to hurt yourself. Yes. So let's remove this real quick. Going to recycle this later.
I like how all the materials that you are using is all recyclable materials.
Yeah, that's the main point of this project. You don't want to throw away all these plastics, right? You need to recycle them or use it as another project's ingredients. So, okay, what we want to do is cut the bottle not in half, but here and here. This is to make our bottle a little bit smaller because we don't need all this space here. Okay?
Pudin,
Yeah.
we can't actually see the part where you're showing. Maybe if you could zoom out a little.
Okay, sorry. Okay, is this
That's
okay?
better. Yeah, that's
Okay.
better. Thank you.
So we want to cut here and here because we want to get rid of this part of the bottle. Okay. So let's just cut it real quick. Again, for those at home, please be careful with your box cutter or scissors. If you have any questions in the meantime, please do let me know in the chat box. Yeah.
Yes, we'd love to hear questions from you guys. Anything at all regarding UNITEN, regarding the project that Pudin is doing right now. Anything at all, please do leave it at the comment section.
Okay. Now the bottom part is ready. I'm going to set that aside. Then we are going to cut this one. Onto a recycle bin. And okay. Don't forget to recycle these materials that you don't use, yeah?
How were you inspired to do this project, Pudin?
It was from my brother actually. Because
okay.
yeah, the vacuum cleaner at home is big. So it's hard for him to clean his space. Well, yeah, because he's small. So I found a couple of ideas online. So I tried to make it for him.
That's cool. That's nice of you.
Yeah, thank you, Raya. Okay, so I'll clean this up a little bit. Okay, next we are going to cut holes at the bottom of the bottle. Why? Okay, the idea the idea is to place this motor and a fan that we will be making using the thin metal plate just now. Yeah, and place it inside the bottom of the bottle. Yeah, like that. So that when it spins, it will suck all the air out from in front of the bottle into and through the back of the bottle. You get the idea, right?
Yeah, I get it. For those who are trying it at home, where can they get the DC motor?
Okay, so for the DC motor, I got mine from an old radio play, old cassette player from my car. So if you don't have those laying around the house, you can always get the DC motor from a remote control car, an old remote control car. Yeah, they have a bunch of those. And if you don't have a remote control car, you can always go to an electronic store to get one for less than ringgit, I think. Yeah. Okay, so since we all got the idea, we're going to cut the bottom, this part of the bottle to make air holes. So let's just mark that real quick. If you can't see it, do let me know, Yari. For those at home, if you are not able to keep up with me during this live session, you can always watch it back. Okay. You want to make sure the middle part is not too small for a motor to fit in. So for my motor, yeah, it's quite okay there.
So it depends on the size of the motor also, right?
Yeah, it is depends on the size of the motor. For this size of bottle, I think it's best to use a medium-sized motor, not too small or not too big. Yeah. So we're going to cut here. Then be careful with the knife, with the box cutter.
So the first time you did this, how long did it take you?
It took me about 1 hour to 2 hours because I still need to try and error. And
was your brother excited to use it?
Yeah, he was excited. It was so light and portable, so he doesn't have any problem with it.
So for those who are planning to buy a vacuum cleaner on Shopee or anything, maybe instead of that, you could do your own vacuum cleaner at home.
Yes. Okay, to fast things forward, because I've already done my, this is the end product. Yeah. So this is the end product. This is the hose for the air to flow. Okay. And then what we want to do, the next step, let's set the bottle aside. Take off the cap real quick. Okay. Next thing is the fan. What we want to achieve is this. As you can see, we want to make this to this, a fan shape. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is the first thing you need to do, take your circular metal, and then we are going to measure it slightly smaller than the bottle because we need to insert it inside, remember? So, okay, this is quite okay. We don't want it to be too small or too big when it touches the side of the bottle, okay?
Is it supposed to touch the side of the bottle?
No, it is not supposed to touch.
Okay.
So we need to make it slightly smaller than the bottle. Okay. So, I'm going to measure it back. So we need to cut some of it. Use our scissors carefully. Careful with the sharp edges, yeah? Might cut your hand. Okay, so next, after that is done, we are going to measure the center of the metal plate. because we're going to make a hole inside it later. So to measure, I'm using a protractor. I'm not sure what this is called.
Yeah, I forgot already.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll measure the whole diameter of the plate, and then the biggest diameter. So, and I'm going to use my ruler, measure it here. It gives me 5.5 cm. Okay, 5.5 cm. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. So 5.5 divided by 2 is 2.75, right? Am I right? Yeah. So 2.75 cm from the edge is the center. 0.75 is the center. Okay, I got it here. So I'm going to, yeah, that's good. And I got my nail here to put a hole inside the metal. Carefully. Okay, so it's true. Get that. Okay, now it's good. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make 2 straight lines to cross the metal piece. Why? Because we are going to cut it, we need to cut it precisely. So, okay, that's done. And then,
So all these measurements is to make a very accurate fan, right?
yes, very accurate fan, a balanced fan.
Is there any would it be wrong for us to not measure and just simply cut?
It's not wrong, but it will make our fan wobble inside the bottle. Yeah. So and then it will hit the body of the bottle. We don't want that. We want it to smoothly spin inside the bottle. Okay, and then we're going to cut these lines. Oh, before I forget, we need to measure the motor that we are going to use, because we don't want the fan, the blades, to touch the motor when it's spinning.
Okay.
So what we're going to do real quick is put the motor here. Just mark it. Okay, so we don't overcut. Okay, that's basically my size of my motor, the size of my motor. So now we're going to cut. Be very careful.
So you cut only half of the line?
Yes, only half of the line. You can't cut all the way through the line, because that line is supposed to keep us from keep the blades from touching the motor afterwards. Okay.
To those watching, I hope that you guys stay until the end, because we have a Kahoot session at the end, and there are cash prizes to be won. So stay tuned for that.
Now that is done, so next thing we need to do is bend a little bit, so it can, when it spins, it can blow the air. Get the idea?
So how do you bend it?
So I bent it here to show how I bent it. Basically, I bent it this way through the using those slides as guidance.
Okay.
Okay, so that way.
So it slants to one side.
Yes, it slants to one side.
Okay.
Very careful for the sharp edges. So now that is done. So we can see, as we can see, it should look like this. Okay. So let's set this aside. Okay, now we are going to use our used pen and open it up. And why are we doing this? We're going to cut here, just a small bit of it. Why are we doing this? This is for the motor to slot in afterwards. You see, the holes in the pen is accurately fit for the motor shaft. This is the shaft, and we can slide it in there.
Maybe you could bring it a little. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm able to see it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next thing we need to do is take our fan and slide the pen inside. Going to be a bit hard at first. If you need to trim, if you need to widen the hole, just take your nail or a screwdriver and widen the hole. Okay.
So does this act as the separator between the fan and the motor?
Yes, it acts as a separator because the fan's surface area is thin because the fan is thin. So if we just put the motor inside this fan, it will most likely to slide off. Okay, so this is a different fan. This is my fan that I made earlier. So when that is done, you can see, right, Ray?
Bring it a little. Okay, now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when this is done, we can see that if we slide in our motor, it will spin very nicely.
That's cool.
Yeah. Okay, so next thing we do is
It's like a homemade fidget spinner.
yeah. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about the motor for a little bit. So the motor, for my motor, I'm using this medium motor rather than this big motor. Both of these I found in my old cassette player. So I'm using this small motor. Why? Because this big motor is going to take up more space in my bottle. I don't want that.
Okay.
Okay, so we want the fan to have more space so that more air can go through the bottle. So we want the fan to be placed right here where it's the most spacious area inside the bottle. So in order to make the fan to be there, I'm going to need to extend my motor a little bit because the base of the bottle is here.
All right.
Right, so I need to use a bottle cap and place it here so that it will, so that I can hot glue gun it to the base of the bottle.
Okay.
Afterwards, yeah.
All right.
So the first thing we need to do is so this is another bottle cap that I use to attach my motor to the bottle cap. Okay, so that I can easily attach to this side of the bottle cap.
All right.
Okay, so all we need to do is hot glue gun is heated. We are going to insert, make a small hole to the side of the bottle cap and insert your motor through there, your wires through there. This is some slight modification that took me half an hour more when I made this. Yeah, when I
So there
made
was
this.
trial and error involved lah.
Yes, there was trial and error. A lot of trial and error. So I'm going to glue this real quick. As I mentioned before, if you don't have a hot glue gun, you can always use a super glue. Okay, so now that's perfect. Okay, now we're going to let the glue dry. Harden for a while. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is the thin cloth. Okay, for the thin cloth, this is what I took this from my my mom's old curtain. Okay, so I cut it just nice to fit into the bottle. So if you are, if you can do this by, it is better to have a circular wire. We take some of wire. And
What type of cloth is that?
I'm not sure, but it is thin.
So so the cloth has to be thin.
Yeah, this cloth has to be thin because we want the air can pass through.
All right.
The cloth. Okay, so what this is an example of what I did. I took a wire and put make it a circle that can fit inside the bottle, and just hot glue the thin cloth onto the wire. So it turns out to be like this.
I see.
Okay, so this one fits inside the bottle nicely, as you can see. Okay. If you don't want to do that, you can just put the cloth here and just close the bottle up. That might work too, but it's inconvenient lah. Okay, so this is what I made. I'm going to use this. So the next thing is we are going to insert the fan into the bottle. Can see that, Ray?
Yes.
Okay. So we want to place the fan right in the middle of the bottle because we don't want the fan to touch the side of the bottle. Okay, that would harm our motor and our bottle. Okay, so we are going to put some hot glue gun there. Nice. Okay. That's great.
So it's really important for the fan not to touch the sides of the bottle, right?
Yes, it's really important. Okay. Now it's placed correctly. Okay. Then I'm going to glue the side of this bottle cap just to make it firmly there. Does not move. Okay. Going to let it dry real quick. For next move is we are going to take the hose that I mentioned earlier and we're going to put it inside the nose of the bottle. So it will be more efficient. And what you want to do is when you cut the hose, make sure you cut it diagonally like that.
Alright, okay.
A bit slanted.
Is there a reason to that?
Yeah, so that when you hold the vacuum cleaner, it will point like that. So you don't have to, instead of like this, you have to put it vertically, right? So this one is better. So I'm going to hot glue.
That's the cool thing about science innovation. It's always very efficient.
Yes, true. Okay, so now it's tight. Now that our hot glue is dried up, okay, we can try our fan. Okay, for the battery, I'm encouraging you guys to use a 9-volt battery. This one has a connector on it. Yeah, 9-volt battery is good for motor because 9-volt is, I think, is sufficient for the motor to run powerfully. So if you guys don't have this connector, you can always make yourself using an old battery. I've put the link inside the comment so you can check it out. But for my vacuum cleaner, I prefer to use this battery holder. Why? Because it uses 8 1.5 volt battery, and that sums up to 12 volt. So it gives more power to the motor. Let's just pop the battery in there real quick. Make sure to get the terminals right.
Yeah, that's very important. And when you
Yes.
try it out, it's not going to work.
Yeah. And then we're going to try our motor. Just connect that real quick here. You can see that one, it touches the side of the bottle. You don't want that. Just slightly adjust it so that it doesn't touch the bottle. Okay, that's better. Okay, next. Okay, since you got that right, next we are going to do, what we are going to do is we're going to tape this side. This is the negative part. This is the positive one. So we're going to tape this. Going to glue this on the side of the bottle. I'm going to connect this the positive wire to our switch. Okay. Moving that on. Then I'm going to connect the negative. See? So it's working right. To put more glue on it. Okay. Now that that's done, we need to pop in our filter. Okay. Then almost. Take that. Okay. Then we're going to take the top. Make sure it's tight.
So the tape will be able to
Remove.
okay.
Yeah, the tape will be able to tahan make the seal airtight. So next, we are going to use Mr. Wafi's paper towel just now, paper peeler. I'm not going to use that. We're going to use it, recycle it. Just this is the square design. So what I made is I'm folding it into a smaller piece. So you got that. What we're going to do is we're going to make a handle for the vacuum.
I see, that's cool.
So I need to fold it up real quick. Then we're going to put it there. All right.
That's so cute.
Can always make it nicer by adding some decorations on it. Mine is just a basic. You can see it's recycled. It's from recycled materials, right? Going to take time to decorate. So basically, this is the end product. You can always, if you're using 9-volt battery, you can always put the battery under the vacuum. But
you can attach it to.
Yeah, you can attach it to the body, but mine is too big to be attached, so I'm just gonna put it there. So I'm going to test it. Yeah, as you can see, you can see the fan moving, right?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Okay, so to test it, I have these papers and sort of the thin cloth cut into pieces. So we're going to test it now. Make sure the paper is. Oops. Oh no. I think my fan just got out of place.
Oh, luckily you could like open it.
Yeah, luckily I can open it. So to make sure it's in place, we're going to glue it so it's in place. I did not expect this actually.
I mean, there's always hiccups here and there.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to close it up. Closing that. You can always improve this design.
Oh, is the filter in?
Oh yeah, the filter. Thank you, Ray.
Welcome.
Almost forgot about the filter. Okay. Then we're going to tape it. So it's secure. Okay, now we're going to try. So as you can see, the nozzle is a bit small for the.
Pudding, we can't hear you.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, the motor is a bit loud. So as you can see, we got some of the piece of paper and debris in there. Can you see?
Yeah.
So I'm going to try it.
I can't believe you just made a vacuum cleaner from scratch.
Yeah, basically this is a useful invention for your house.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pudding.
Yeah.
Thank you for this session.
So basically, I'm going to explain real quick because we're going to have a quiz afterwards, right? So basically, the fan sucks the air into the nozzle, and it creates a low pressure inside the bottle. So that's why the high pressure pushes the high pressure outside, pushes the debris to go to the lower pressure inside the bottle because of the speed of the air inside the bottle. Okay, you get it, right?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you. I hope I win the quiz later.
Thank you. And that's it from my session. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Pudding. Thank you, Wafi, for the earlier session. This was so, it's such a lovely way to spend our Sunday. Thank you so much, Pudding. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this session earlier. Now is the moment that we've all been waiting for. It's time for some Kahoot game. So there are cash prizes to be won by the top 3 winners. Please do join us, as this will be the last session for the day. Just a quick reminder that we would like you to enter your real name, just so that it would be easy for us to contact you, just in case, for you to claim the prizes. So I think we can begin. You can get on to kahoot.com and enter the game pin of 2390432. So we'll just wait for all the players to join. The game pin is 2390432. Right, so we have a few participants already in. Come on, guys. We have Lim, Talia, Anis, Muzaffar, Haider. So we'll wait about 5 minutes just so everyone could join the Kahoot session. Alright, 2 more minutes and then we'll begin with the first question. We have Awesome Cat 52. Okay, we have a minute more. Those who'd like to join us, please go on to kahoot.com, enter the game pin 2390432. I think we'll be starting in a while. Alright, so let's just start with the first question. We have 19 participants. Alright, the first question is, who is the presenter for session 1? Is it me? Let's ask who. Okay. Okay, time's running up, so alright, so 7 people got it correct. And thank you for choosing me. Thank you. I feel special. Anyway, so moving on. Oh, we have Ahmad Huzaifa, first place, Jackie second, Ronald third, Anis fourth, and Shafiq fifth. Let's go to the second question. What is the block-based programming software used in the first session? Is it MLab, NBlock, Micro-C, or MBlock? 5, 4, 3, 2. Guys. Alright, majority of y'all got it correct. I think those the person who chose Micro-C probably took Micro-P lab last semester. Ahmad Huzaifa is still number 1, followed by Jackie and Rons. The third question, the lowest type level of programming is level language, assembly language, machine language, high level language. All right, let's see who's leading. We have Anis. Anis is leading, followed by Awesome Cat 62. Objective, what did the boy say? So this was the presentation that Mr. Azrul gave. What did the boy say? Colorful today. Well, we have Awesome Cat 62, followed by Bang, followed by Mika, third place. Fifth question, how many steps in the software development method mentioned in this session? 5, 6, 7, or 8? We have 6 people who got it right. And Awesome Cat is still leading, followed by Jackie, followed by Muzaffar. Sixth question, which shape is the strongest when designing a column or a pillar? Is it a square, triangle, circle, or hexagon? Eight people got it right. Let's see who's leading. Muzaffar, yeah, first now. And followed by Awesome Cat 62, followed by Ahmad Huzaifar. Seventh question, how does the debris get sucked into the nozzle? Okay, so we didn't explain earlier. Is it high pressure inside, low pressure outside? 5 seconds. Nine of us got it right. Ahmad Huzaifar is back in number 1, followed by Jackie, followed by Muzaffar. The 8th question for today is, which of these does not affect the pressure of the suction? Is it the power of the fan, the size of the opening, blockage of the passageway, or the length and fan blade? Okay, we got 4 people who got it right. Let's see who is Shafiq. Shafiq is number 1 right now, followed by Ahmad Huzaifar, followed by Jackie. Let's go to the second last question for today. Fine. Yeah, I'm not sure this. Okay, all right. We'll go to the last question then. Okay, I'm assuming that there was only 8 questions. So let's just see who's at the top. Jackie. Jackie is number 3. Mak Huzaifar at number 2. Shafiq, you got the first place for the Kahoot session today, and runner-ups is Muzaffar and Anis. Thank you so much for joining us today. Shafiq, Ahmad Huzaifar, and Jackie, please do make sure to email your name, contact number, and bank account number if you want to get the cash prizes. The details should be submitted to afiq633@gmail.com. Let me just repeat that real quick. The details should be submitted to afiq633@gmail.com. The email will also be at the description box. Please do email us your name, contact number, and bank account number. Right, so we'll end this. Now with the end of The Kahoot game session marks the end of our Virtual Engineering Fair Series 4 Virtual STEM activity. Before I end, if you want to find out more about studying at UNITEN, UNITEN is a place of possibilities and opportunities where extraordinary happens every day and the potential of every student is unlocked. To get more information on alumni discounts, staff discount, HRDF, KWSP, education loans, and scholarships, UNITEN International alumni can also enjoy 3,000 ringgit discount on registration fee and 20% discount on tuition fee when they enroll into UNITEN postgraduate programs. You can also register as a member of UNITEN Alumni Association right now and email us at acl@uniten.edu.my. Let me just repeat this. Register as a member of UNITEN Alumni Association and email us at acl@uniten.edu.my. UNITEN Digital Flexible Learning will be available soon. The program includes open and distance learning, massive open online courses, and micro-credentials. So what are you waiting for? Embark on your journey with us. Application for September 2021 intake is now open. Join us by registering today at www.uniten.edu.my. Let me just repeat that again. Join us by registering today at www.uniten.edu.my. Jom masuk UNITEN. So do follow us on our Instagram and Facebook page for any updates. Our Facebook page is UNITEN Official and find us on Instagram at UNITEN Official. I, Ray, would like to apologize for any flaws while handling the ceremony. Thank you, have a good Sunday, and good luck to all.
ECERC 2021.
See you next year.
Wait, what if I don't know anything?
If you have a mind to upset the status quo with your big ideas for tomorrow's world, then maybe we're just the thing for the genius in you. For starters, every fellow here is brilliant too, hired to rethink how we think and prove that impossible isn't at all. We love their visionary points of view and how their top-tier ideas are helping us to expand what we know and don't know about our world. Working hand in hand, we're out to better the ways energy works for us, to market our inventive ideas and fast-track a world that takes care of us all. Responsible entrepreneurship that will rub off on you. You'll leave our halls of learning wired not just for sensible science, but sustainable business too. A thinker, a breath of fresh air, a game changer, a global visionaire. Primed to keep progress on its toes, the competition on the run, and our planet clean, safe, and secure. But wait. Forget the future for now and focus first on making the choice that will trigger the full potential of you. Enroll. And then, maybe tomorrow, the next big thing that rocks our world will be you.